So this is something weird. Something that I didn't think I would ever gonna see. Sony is skipping E3 next year, according to what is being talked about right now. As of right now, word is going around that Sony has decided to skip E3 for 2019. It doesn't make sense when you think about it. It really doesn't. You know, you got the three main towers of gaming consoles. Nintendo being one, Sony the other, and then Microsoft being the third. And so it's kind of weird just to all of a sudden hear that one of the three main console leads, Sony, is skipping E3. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up. Well, it doesn't. And the statement that we're getting right now is not really confirming anything as to like what they're planning per se, or at least anything major in particular. For those that don't know, we also had the fact that Sony decided to bail out on their PlayStation experience this year because according to what they were stating in quotes, they didn't have enough to show. What could you not have to show? You know, what was the fact that you had The Last of Us Part 2, Death Stranding, and Ghost of Tsushima during E3 this year? Then again, I guess that was the only thing you had that was up and coming, so you decided, instead of doing a PlayStation experience, you figure, well, let's just skip it this year because there's nothing major to show. Well, apparently they decided to skip E3 for next year. And so one would think maybe there's just not enough exclusives to showcase to warrant an actual show per se. Like I say, Sony will be there technically, like a small staff of Sony producers, but not enough to be like a large event like we normally would get. Like they'll still have booths and stuff like that to showcase, for example, the three mentioned games, and then whatever other games that'll be coming out for the PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, obviously, but they will not have an actual show per se. Like, I don't see them skipping it entirely. I really don't. Like, why would you skip an entire gaming event? Probably one of the biggest gaming events of the year, if not the biggest gaming event of the year. Why would you skip that one? Well, there was somebody actually who actually looked into this and basically kind of was trying to figure out, okay, maybe there's an exact reason as to why, but they decided to do a wild guess at it to see. And so here's what is being said right now. It says here, seeing as 2019 is PlayStation's 25th anniversary, Sony fans on Reddit are speculating that the company are planning a huge solo event to celebrate the milestone. Now, December 3rd, which I'm going to look real quickly just to make certain that I'm correct on this one. December 3rd, 1994. So let's see. Okay, so literally next year on December 3rd will be the 25th anniversary for the Sony PlayStation 1. Because the original PlayStation came out December 3rd, 1994. So next year will literally be the 25th anniversary. So next year they will have something planned up. More than likely they probably will. Will they have a solo event? Not enough to say that they're skipping E3. Like, unless they literally decided that if they went to E3, the whole 25th anniversary thing would be shadowed from everything else. And they figured, okay, if we're going to hold an event, we need to hold it exclusively away from E3. Because if we have it in E3, it'll just get shadowed in with everything else that's going on in E3. And we don't want that. We want it to stand out. So that's probably what they're thinking right now. But it's hard to say if that's what they're doing as of this point right now. But there is a comment that was stated from somebody from Sony. The statement is, PlayStation fans mean the world to us, and we always want to innovate, think differently, and experiment with new ways to delight gamers. As a result, we have decided not to participate in E3 in 2019. We are exploring new and familiar ways to engage our community in 2019 and can't wait to share our plans with you. So obviously that says something, you know, that says that they are planning on sharing more with the community, but they don't want to do it through E3. They want to do it more. They want to be more engaging with their fans through other means. But by other means, what are they talking about? Are they literally holding a smaller event? Or are they planning something else? Because here's the thing. If you're going to do a 25th anniversary type thing, obviously you're going to have some form of collectible type things whatsoever and all that stuff. Obviously, they're probably going to showcase like a new clothesline that you could purchase straight from their store probably. They may have a PlayStation, like they did a few years ago actually. A few years ago they did a PlayStation 4, PlayStation 1 skin of it. And that one sold quickly, but also too you had scalpers trying to sell it for buck ton of money. Literally, it was ridiculous. They scalped them like crazy, but maybe they might do something like that, or maybe they might do, I sincerely doubt they'll do it, but maybe they might have like a special PlayStation 1 Classic Mini thing that maybe they aren't showing that's being released right now. Maybe there's something like that. Or who knows, maybe there's something that they're going to do for the PlayStation Store that follows along the same lines that Microsoft just recently did this past E3. This past E3, Microsoft released a butt ton of retro games that people can play on their Xbox One, including a butt ton of Xbox games. Original Xbox. I can't say Xbox One anymore because that's what we're on right now. But original Xbox game. And that made a lot of people happy. So Sony realizes that, okay, the retro market is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. If we don't match up with Microsoft, we could lose them. In which case, they're partially right. Because Microsoft doesn't have a lot of exclusives to begin with for their Xbox One. What else have they got going for them? Their previous titles. Obviously, Xbox 360 and Xbox One. To be able to replay your previous favorite games that you played in the previous consoles is a good thing to have. And a lot of the bigger, higher ups don't believe that people want to play their older games. Shows how much they know. It's sort of like the movie industry saying, no one wants to watch the original Snow White. Well, Snow White has been watched by millions of people for over 50 plus years now, so are you telling me you're that dumb now to think we wouldn't rewatch it? It's so mind-boggling for people just to say ignorant things, like saying that no one plays retro games. Of course people play retro games. They play them because they originally played them back in the day. So why wouldn't they play it again? It's like me playing Kingdom Hearts 1 for 20 plus times. Why wouldn't I play it for another 20 plus times? So long as I'm able to play the game, I'm gonna play the game. And the same thing goes for everybody else, you know? So obviously Sony is realizing, okay, we need to up the ante. We need to do something. And something tells me they're going to port everything onto the PlayStation 4. The reason why I'm saying this is for two reasons. Number one, the PlayStation 3 is fixing to get its server closed permanently. It won't be long. Right now, there are certain games that you cannot play on the server-wise. I recently got an email, and unfortunately I deleted it. I should have kept it whenever I had the chance, but I deleted it. It was telling me that there were certain games that their servers was going to be shut down as of January 1st, 2019. So in other words, the PlayStation 3 is slowly fixing to shut off its servers, meaning that whatever game they had on the PlayStation 3 that you wanted to purchase will no longer be purchasable because it will be shut down. Which means there goes the majority of some of the PlayStation 1 classic games that was on there, the PlayStation 2 that they had on there, some of the indie titles and PlayStation 3 that was on there as well. I mean, you're going to be losing a whole bunch of all that stuff if you did not have those downloaded to begin with. Or if you had them backed up, one or the two. The point is that Sony's probably going to have all the previous ones that they had back on the PlayStation 3, and they're going to have them ported for the PlayStation 4. More than likely, as well as a few other added bonuses left and right, probably. I'm hoping, anyway. I'm hoping that they'll actually have it to where you can actually play Brave Fencer Musashi as well as Einhander, probably. You know, at least purchasable, in my opinion. Because those are technically not available on the PlayStation 3, or at least in America, for Brave Fencer Musashi. Brave Fencer Musashi is only available through the Japanese site, but not through America, which is absolute bullcrap. But Einhander is, as far as I know, Einhander is not available on the PlayStation 3 for download, because that was one that I wouldn't mind actually playing right now. I've been interested in that. It's been on my mind for quite some time. But anyway, they're obviously going to be doing something like that. But also, too, according to certain reports, there are rumors speculating, and again, this is all speculation, so we can't really say for sure if this is 100% or not, but keep in mind, there is an announcement for the probability of the PlayStation 5, or whatever it's going to be named, because apparently there's word going around that it's not going to be called the PlayStation 5. And it's like, well, PlayStation is a namesake. What would you call it then? Are you going to call it the PlayStation 1 like you did with the Xbox One? Don't do that. Please, Sony, don't. Don't be that dumb. But they're obviously going to be coming out with the next console. But according to what people are saying, it won't be until like literally 2020 before they'll actually make an announcement. Which means we'll have at least 3 or 4 years before the next console even releases. So therefore, they couldn't be talking about the new console. They can't be. Why would they, you know? It's too early still. In my personal opinion, it would not sell that quickly. Or at least within the first year it wouldn't. If nothing else, it would take literally 2 or 3 years before it started picking up sales like the PS4 did. But with that being said, unless they do like something revolutionary, like how Nintendo did the so-called Switch, where it's like a handheld and console hybrid, that would be the only way they would try to do it. Because, let's face it, anything that Nintendo does, Sony and Microsoft tends to try to replicate. Even though Microsoft has no experience with handhelds. They've only had experience with like the console, the Xbox console itself. You then have Microsoft PC games in particular. And then I guess whatever games that can be played on any Microsoft tablets. If there is any, that is, per se. But the point is that Microsoft doesn't really focus on handhelds in particular. They're mostly a computer company to begin with, and therefore they don't really invest in handhelds in that area. Sony is not completely done with handhelds, they said. So I think the next thing that they're going to try working on is a console/handheld hybrid, much like Nintendo. But who's to say, really? I don't know. I thought this was weird that Sony was just skipping E3, and I wanted to kind of put it together what all people are talking about, what all they're saying, and what predictions we're going to get. Who's to say what 2019 is going to hold at this rate right now? I don't know, it just seems kind of weird. But anyway though, leave your thoughts and your opinions on the comments below. Let me know what you think about what Sony is up to, or what you think they could be up to. Right now it's hard to say, and it's kind of up in the wind at the moment, but anyway though guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Catch you later guys.